All right, let's just dive right in. We're not talking about little life hacks today. No, we are breaking down what it actually takes to completely transform your life. I'm talking about a seismic shift in how you think, how you act, and what you're willing to demand from yourself.
And we're kicking things off with maybe one of the realest truths you'll ever hear. Think about it. Why would you ever stop in hell? The only way out is to go through it. And that right there, that's the mindset we're talking about today. It's about relentless forward momentum no matter what's in your way. So where do you get that kind of energy? Where does that motion come from? Well, it all starts with this first absolutely critical principle. You have got to find a dream, a goal, a vision for your life that is just monumental. And this is the secret sauce right here. Your dream can't just be big. It has to be so massive that it consumes everything else. It's got to be the first thing you think about when your eyes open in the morning and the last thing that's running through your head at night. It's that huge, overwhelming scale that basically suffocates your fears and your doubts. It starves them of oxygen. You know, what I love about this is how it just lays it all out visually. When your dream is this massive, just look what happens to everything else. All your problems, your fears, the anxieties you deal with every day, they don't just magically vanish, but they get put into perspective, don't they? They become what they really are, just tiny little bumps in the road on your way to something gigantic. Look, this isn't some side hustle. It's not a hobby you pick up on the weekends. This dream has to become the very thing you run on. You have to be so completely obsessed with where you're headed that every single thing you do, every choice you make, gets filtered through that one ultimate mission. Okay, so that dream, that's your North Star. But the road to get there is never going to be a nice paved highway. It's chaos, it's messy, and you know what? Greatness isn't about avoiding that chaos. It's about learning how to operate and even thrive right in the middle of the storm. Seriously, just take a second and think about that. How many times have you been in a situation where you thought, this is it, I'm done? And yet, here you are. You're still here. You've already proven to yourself that you can survive it. That strength, it's already in you. The chaos you're facing right now, it's no different than the chaos you've already beaten. And this leads to this kind of crazy paradox. If you always choose the easy way out, you avoid the tough conversations, you skip the workout, you give up when things get hard, your life, ironically, becomes incredibly difficult. You end up bitter and you're filled with regret. The hard path is actually the only one that leads to an easier life. And here's the solution. Being steady doesn't mean you don't feel the wind and the rain. Of course you do. It means having the faith, the sheer belief that there's something waiting for you on the other side. It's about holding on tight when every single part of you is screaming to just let go. Which, of course, brings us to the main event, the most important battlefield there is, your own mind. You can only handle the chaos on the outside if you've built the tools you need on the inside. So, we have to completely change the way we look at discipline. It's not about punishment. It's the ultimate form of self-love. It's that friend who makes you do the thing you hate, but to do it like you love it, because it knows that's what's going to make you stronger, healthier, and ultimately happier. These right here, these are the weapons in your arsenal. You need that self-belief when nobody else has it for you. You need the power to just shut down that inner voice of doubt. You need the courage to reinvent who you are when you hit a dead end. And you need that raw animal grit to just push through the pain when quitting seems like the only sensible thing to do. So how do you find that kind of clarity? Well, here's a pretty intense but powerful way to do it. You have to unplug. You go into what's called the dark room. No phone, no TV, no distractions at all. You just sit there, alone with yourself, and you face the single most important question you'll ever ask. Who do I really want to be? And really, it all boils down to this. The world is going to doubt you. Your friends might even doubt you. And let's be real, sometimes you're going to doubt yourself. But the ability to hold on to your own belief, especially when you're facing all that doubt, that, my friends, is the sign of a truly unbreakable mind. Okay, we've talked about the mindset. Now let's talk about the only time that actually exists, right now. This next part is all about one thing: pure, relentless, immediate action. You have to stop telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a myth. It's this fantasy land where all your work magically gets done. You have to rewire your brain to get one thing straight. The only time to get it done is today, right now. The perfect time is never going to show up. So let's start tearing down the excuses one by one. First up, this idea that you need a team or you need support. No, you don't. This journey begins with you, and you are more than enough to take that first step. What about the next excuse? Money. You think you need a bunch of investors or fat bank account to start? Wrong. All you really need is that fire burning inside you, the will to start with exactly what you have. That is your real startup capital. And what about when you're exhausted, drained? Your energy level is not a requirement for taking action. Listen, some of the most important work you will ever do will be on the days you feel like you have absolutely nothing left in the tank. And here it is, the big one. Do it scared. Waiting until you're not afraid anymore is the oldest trap in the book. Real courage is not the absence of fear. It's staring that fear right in the face and moving forward anyway. No more excuses, just do it. And that brings us to the final promise, the final vow. This is the mindset you have to adopt when you've burned the ships and there is no going back. This is the ultimate, non-negotiable commitment.
You have to understand this one critical truth. The struggle, it isn't just something to get through, it's what forges you. The pain is temporary, but the person you become by pushing through it, that's permanent. On the other side of that pain, you're going to meet a version of yourself you never even knew existed. Someone stronger, wiser, unbreakable. And this just paints the most perfect picture of what that vow looks like. It's you at absolute rock bottom. The lights are off, the money's gone, maybe everyone has walked away. But you are still looking at your dream, holding it in your mind, and you make one simple, powerful declaration to yourself. It's not over until I win. And so, we're going to end on this. One final, urgent question. Forget about tomorrow. Forget about planning for next week. If this day, right now, was all you had left to make your move, to get closer to that dream, how would you use your time? The answer to that question, well, that changes everything.